Hi, I'm Kat Fury, and we're at Community Access Television, Short Takes Live, which is always exciting and thrilling. That's catfayetteville.org if anyone wants to check out the content web streaming. This is Kitchen Witch, which is a weekly show that I do on Short Takes every week. You could come down and do a show too if you wanted to. Just come down to 10 West Rock or call 479-444-3433, and you also could be doing ludicrous things. Today's show is just based on the idea of using the different elements to sort of bring more balance to your life by the various qualities that we associate with them. And it's kind of a fun little spell to do. So the first thing I've got is I have 7 different containers, because I use a 7-element system that takes the 4 traditional kind of Greek elements, air, earth, water, fire, and I combine that system with the 5-element Chinese system, which adds metal and wood into that conglomeration. And then as the 7th element, I like to use the idea of living things, living animals and beings as being separate entities. So get 7 containers that won't be hurt by food coloring or water, and I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in each container, because as pagans we tend to use salt for purposes of purification of whatever energy you feel might already be there. And then what I'm going to start doing is starting with metal, and it doesn't matter like what direction you start with. The color I associate with metal is clear, so I'm just going to use clear water for that. And drip a few drops of the water back into it, and think of all the things that I associate with metal. Metal is mostly related to the power of willpower and the strength to shape the world around you. So, and then for fire, I associate fire with the color red. So rather than set the studio on fire, I brought a piece of flint rock in here to associate with that. Fire usually associates to passionate emotions such as either extreme love, extreme anger, just anything that you feel powerfully. It also associates to the concept of transformation, because anything that you set on fire is completely transformed into something else. And so you would concentrate on thinking about things like campfires and bonfires, just trying to pull up your memories of that and putting that energy there. Next, and again, you may notice that I'm going with the colors of the spectrum here. Going down the colors of the spectrum, I tend to use yellow for air. And air relates to powers of the intellect and clarity of mind. And so I brought a feather to represent air, so you guys can bring whatever would represent that kind of thing to you. And concentrate maybe on things like the feel of wind on your face or the sound of wind in the trees. And then using food coloring here to make the colors of the spectrum as we go. On to orange, which as I go down the spectrum, I associate orange to earth, and I even managed to find an orange rock to bring in to associate with that. I'm going to set that down where hopefully you can see it. And earth represents powers both of stability and strength, like with stone. It also represents, when you're thinking about garden earth, things like nurturing and, I did that backwards. It should have been red, orange, yellow. No worries. Relates to powers like of stability and also nurturing and growth, like you would, green growing things in. So speaking of green growing things, on to green, which represents to me wood, as you would find in the Chinese system, which represents the power to be both flexible and strong at the same time. And I brought some acorn caps to represent the idea of green, living, growing things to go with that. And then so we have red, orange, yellow, green. Of course, on to blue, which represents the element of water. And that represents not only healing and the subconscious mind, but the willingness to adapt to the world around you and, basically to be willing to change, which also kind of that's part of healing is, being willing to change. And then finally, And I tend to associate this to spirit, so I brought both a living animal and I brought an amethyst pendulum that I use a lot because it's violet, and a magical tool that I use, and it represents sort of the spirit of living beings. So we will make some violet here. And to me, the energy of life and spirit represents the power to both have ideas and dreams and passions and hopes, and also to love and to care about each other. And so what you would do with this spell is set it up. You could either use it to cast a circle, you know, and set it up maybe around a larger altar or table, and then do whatever other spell you were going to do within it. Or you could use it if you're looking to balance these different elements and bring them into harmony in your life and bring your life into harmony. Set this spell up where it can be undisturbed for a few days, and consider that rebalancing to be done when all the water has evaporated, which is why you want to use containers that won't be hurt by food coloring. This full spell will be available, the whole text of it, to be on myspace.com/kitchenwitchtv.